The lawyers acting for Kate and Jerry in Portugal have seen this since last Thursday, so they've had a slight head start on the media, but not much of one. They are going to go through it incredibly methodically. They're looking for two areas, really. The first priority is anything in there that could help to find Madeleine. It's obvious, but it has to be said. What wasn't done, where wasn't searched, what sightings or leads weren't followed up, that needs to be gone through, and that could take them a good part of a month to do that. Secondly, the lawyers will also be looking at it from the legal perspective. If there is any incompetence or anything worse than that, then under Portuguese law, they could bring charges against individuals or the police as a whole, but that's not the priority. The priority is finding Madeleine.
Is there anything that's leapt out at them so far?
If there is, I'm not aware of it yet, but as I say, this is a very methodical process. A lot of it will mean a lot to the investigators, and all of that will be done privately. We are not going to give a running commentary on what we're finding in there.
Right. One thing that has emerged, which has been picked up by one or two of the papers, was the questioning of Kate McCann by detectives. And it's on the record that there were 48 questions during her questioning which she refused to answer. Why so many?
Why so many questions? Well, you have to ask the police.
Why did she refuse to answer?
Because her lawyer advised her not to answer. She had been made arguida, and that gives you rights under Portuguese law not to answer incriminating evidence, and nor should any inference be taken from that refusal to answer. Her lawyer had advised her not to answer for fear, basically, that the questions were going to be leading and take her into areas that were possibly incriminating.
But, I mean, some of them seem sort of fairly straightforward as to how she raised the alarm, what she first saw, what the state of the room was, all that sort of thing, which surely would have helped them develop the inquiry.
Her lawyer advised her not to answer the questions, and in that situation, Bill, if you had your lawyer telling you not to do something, I'm sure you probably wouldn't do it.
What do you make of this eyewitness lead, the Irish eyewitness that Steve Kingston was referring to?
Well, as I just said, we're not going to go into a running commentary on blow by blow. As you said, 20,000 pages, I'm not going to do that. However, as Steve correctly said, there are a number of independent witnesses that place Jerry very, very clearly at the tapas bar having a meal at the time that this alleged statement was made. And also the man concerned is said to have made his views known based on seeing Jerry on television weeks later.
15 months now since Madeleine disappeared. Surely, slowly, regrettably, tragically, hope must slowly be fading.
That's an obvious assumption to make, but for Kate and Jerry, it doesn't. There is absolutely no evidence to suggest Madeleine has been harmed, let alone killed, as many people assume. And the longer, actually, it goes on without a single trace of her, they actually draw strength from that, because they hope, against hope, that she is being held somewhere and hopefully being looked after. Until their private investigators have exhausted every possibility, they are never going to give up that hope or give up looking for their daughter.